Monday, August 4th. I'm Adam Walsh, and this is The Signal. And that's right, we are pirouetting our way into the world of dance and ballet with the folks from Kittiwake Dance Theatre. There's been a rebrand. We've got some amazing talent sat down here. We're going to talk company vision, future of dance in St. John's, and how ballet is relevant today. Kira Mahoney's taking the show today. Kira, do we have that music lined up? There it is. Everyone in the studio just like jolted and moved. Okay, so when you hear this music, what is going through your minds? What are you thinking about? Yukichi Hattori, what are you thinking?
I'm thinking of the scenery, the lighting, the white swans.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Hannah Dromer?
I picture the whole atmosphere, get my wings ready.
Galien Johnston?
The same. I imagine immediately my arms going into port-de-bras, but also the intense foot pain I'm feeling around this point in the ballet. It's far into a lot of standing in those point shoes. And
intense foot pain.
Oh,
I didn't
yeah.
even think about that. Delaney Carberry.
I was more going shoulder pain from all those swan arms, keeping my back straight, and that nice white headpiece.
And to tell folks who don't know, like this is very familiar music, but folks may not know the title. And what are we listening to?
Swan Lake.
Yeah. And how big of a deal is this in the world of ballet?
Huge.
Yeah, it's like right up there.
Yeah. Because the company also has to be big enough to perform this. So, it is a milestone for sure.
How many people do you need to do something like this?
At least 12 swans.
That's very small.
That's small. Yeah. 26, 32
32, yeah.
would be better.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's just the swans. So if you count rest of the characters, 60? Yeah, dancers.
60 dancers. Okay. Yeah, I am starting to get a sense of that's a lot of work and
Very
a lot of
grand.
Yeah. What does it feel like to do it?
Feels great. It's one of those ballets that's sort of I think every young dancer aspires to be in it at one point in their career. I've been very lucky to do it many, many times. I did it at National Ballet of Canada and then again in Hamburg Ballet. And it just feels like you're really in the career at that point.
Yeah, you've made it. It's one of those.
I've made it, yeah.
So yeah, like, do you remember the first time you did it? That moment, oh, wait, I've made it. I'm doing this today. Like what, or were you just so focused on the performance that you didn't get, like when do you get to kind of take that into account or scope or for feeling and thought? I
think it can happen at different points and for different reasons throughout your career. Like the first time doing it, I was 18. I was with National Ballet of Canada, and James Kadalka was creating a new Swan Lake for the company. And it was a lot of work, a lot of hours. And I think, as you mentioned, you're just so focused on everything being new choreography, new placing, new patterns, new everything. It probably didn't hit me till after it was over.
Yeah, because you're not just about to go out and do it and be like, no, I'm going to take time to think about what this all means for where I am. It's like, no, I've got something to do, and it's a big performance, and there's stress and pressure and everything else that comes with it.
Yeah.
And foot pain.
Yes, of course. Yeah, but then there's other times too. I remember later in Hamburg Ballet, you get more comfortable the more you do it, and just taking those moments sometimes looking around and you see each other and you just think, wow, like how lucky am I? This is my life. It's pretty cool.
When did that dream start for you?
For me, it started with Swan Lake, actually, when I was 3 years old. The Sadler's Wells Ballet Company came to Edmonton to perform. They were on tour. And my mom took me to see Swan Lake. And my dad had my brothers at a movie, and we were waiting for them to be done to come pick us up from the theater. And we were standing outside, and the dancer who had done the lead male role came out for a smoke. And yes, they all smoked back then.
Yeah, back in those days,
yeah. It was a different time. And I guess he had a daughter back home in England around the same age as me that he was missing, and he got excited and said, oh, would you like to come backstage? And we'll show you how everything works. And so he brought my mom and I. He gave us a tour of the set. He showed me how they fly at the end of the ballet. They fly off, and took me to meet the prima ballerina who had done the lead, and she took a photo of me with her headdress on and gave me her point shoes, and I just fell in love with that world, that backstage world, and I thought, that's it. This is what I want to do. I want to be part of that. So
You never know where a smoke break might lead.
you never know. It's true.
Do me a favor. We'll go around the table. Just give us more of an introduction of yourself and who you are.
Sure. My name is Galien Johnston Hattori. I am a retired professional ballet dancer. I trained at National Ballet School and then danced very briefly for National Ballet of Canada before going to the Hamburg Ballet in Germany and then to Alberta Ballet in Canada. And now I'm retired from that and I'm teaching ballet. I work with the company, coaching them and helping, and also with students as well.
Excellent. Yukichi, how about yourself? Give us an introduction.
Yes, I was born in Tokyo, Japan, to parents of actors. My grandfather, a composer. But for some reason, I chose ballet as my career at 6 years old. And then at 14, moved to Germany to join the Hamburg Ballet School, studied there for 5 years. And then joined the company and danced there for 7 years. That's where I met Galien. Yeah, and then we moved to Calgary, Alberta to dance further, started choreographing as well. And then, yeah, we opened the school after I quit Alberta Ballet. We ran that school for 8 years, and then now I'm here running Kittywake Dance Theatre.
All right. And there's lots to unpack about that because it's the rebrand, direction, talking about dance and stuff in St. John's. Also what you're all doing this summer because there's a couple of really cool things coming up. But Hannah, tell us about yourself.
My name is Hannah Drover. I'm from here in St. John's. I decided I wanted to be a professional dancer around the age of 12, and I studied here, and then when I graduated high school I moved to Toronto to attend school in George Brown College, and then I came back in 2020 and got a job with Kittiwake Dance Theatre, and I've been really enjoying that ever since.
Excellent. Delaney.
Yeah, so I was born and raised in Toronto and had an older sister who danced at a studio, and so I wanted to do that too. So trained at local studios. I actually started in more of a competitive dance sphere, but I had a string of really wonderful ballet teachers who really inspired me to kind of make that my focus. Went to an arts high school, kind of just focused in and making sort of the transition between my pre-professional training and started my professional career as a trainee with Kittywake. Yeah.
When did you come down here?
Just in July, mid-July.
Mid-July. And so this is early August. So
Early
you've not been here
August,
very long.
Not even a month yet, soon to be a month.
Tell us about the thought process of you coming here and then landing and...
Yeah, it all happened quite quickly. I did an audition for the company in May in Toronto, and then a week or two later got an email and was like you to join the trainee program. And so from there it was kind of just go, go, go. I came down, I think sometime in June, took a class with the company with Hannah was there, and really enjoyed it. So I was like, yep, sign on the dotted line, packed my bags, and came back for the start of the season.
What'd your family think about it? You're like, hey, folks, St. John's.
Yeah, very supportive,
Good.
Thankfully. My dad came down with me in June, and I was surprised he went home, honestly. He's been loving it. So very supportive. I'm very grateful for that.
And what are your initial thoughts of kicking the tires on this place? How's everything going so far?
So far, it's been all right. Been a bit of a transition moving my whole life down here. But everyone at the company has been very nice, very supportive, been driving me around. I'm very thankful. No car yet. But yeah, it's been a really welcoming environment. So that's made everything so much easier for me.
You've been warned, though, about like late fall and winter?
Yes, I was told by someone at a restaurant when I got here. She was like, you're going to want to make friends and find hobbies because it's going to get really sad about October. And I was like, but she was like, but you'll love it, don't worry. And I was like, okay.
Thanks for that advice.
Here's your tip.
That's amazing. Yeah, there's no shortage of people who are going to give you advice while you're here if you say you're from not here. Yeah. So tell us about Kittywake these days. What's going on?
Wow, what is going on? Well, in about a week, we'll be dancing on Water Street as a part of Art Vista. Yes, we'll be dancing 7 or 8 different dance pieces showcasing, what we are capable of, so to speak. So we don't just specialize in ballet because we are the only professional dance company in this province. So, as a representative of the dance sector, I feel we have to represent every genres of dance. I don't know why I said it like that. I guess I tried to sound fancy.
No, that sounded good. No, it sounded really good. That was really good.
So not
what
just
are the
ballet.
different genres then that you'll be representing?
Right. We do some ballet,
Yeah.
but in sneakers because we're on pavement. But do some ballet. We do some contemporary dance. We do some hoedown
Yeah.
style. A
All
little
right.
bit of Alberta
Yeah.
here. Yeah. What else do we do? Jazz. It's jazzy too.
It's like folkish almost.
Yes, folkish. Yes, and we do a little bit of posh play on.
Baroque style.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
So yeah, a big mix.
Mhm.
And when can folks check this out on there's a thing online. I don't know if they can
Yes.
find it, because you're doing it the 11th, I think, of August,
August
Monday.
11th and 18th,
Yeah.
both.
This is all
at-
tied to the Canada Games, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
2:30. We will be dancing in front of Scotiabank.
Cool.
Water Street. Yeah.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll be there. We're bringing our show down on Monday the 11th, so we may speak to more of you folks on that day
Yes,
beforehand.
we might.
Because we're doing, so for everyone, as the Canada Games hits us, we are doing 4 live shows. You'll meet athletes and parents and coaching staff. And also we want it, because of the big artistic side of the games too, we wanted to devote a show to that, which will be Monday the 11th on the Pedestrian Mall. So I'm hoping, lots of dancers and lots of people and tourists. And I really enjoy these types of summer shows because you get to meet and especially this year with the Canada Games imprinted on top of everything. So it's just this really interesting extra layer on it. How do you folks feel about that? Being like from either performing or just being part of this with the Canada Games here as the artistic side of it? Kayla, what are your thoughts?
I think it's great that they're
Yeah.
featuring local artists at it. I think it's a wonderful opportunity to showcase all of the many talents that are here, from music, singing, acting, circus, dance. There's a lot of great things happening. And so I think to give tourists and even locals who might not know of certain groups here a taste of what's out there is pretty exciting.
What are the entry points when we think of ballet? Because I always, so it's like, what was it, 6 and 3 and how
5.
5.
Started when I was 3.
Started when you're 3.
Yeah.
Does it always have to be that, like, does it have to be that young? Because typically whenever I've heard, like, a lot of times when I hear of stories for ballet, not that I've heard like a ton over the years, but like the few that I have heard, it involves folks starting really early. But what is that starting process like and for getting people into ballet?
I because running our school, I find a lot of little ones come to ballet class because you hear a lot from the parents, oh, she never stops moving, or he's always jumping around, and they want to focus that energy, channel it to something positive, or they just want them to have some poise or musicality. And so it's a nice activity for kids to do.
Yeah.
But I think it's usually we start to see around 9 years old, 10 years old, those kids that really kind of lean towards ballet. Often you'll be doing a bit of jazz, some hip hop, ballet, contemporary, whatever. And a certain kind of kid will just sort of gravitate to the practice of ballet, which is different from the others in the sense that it's really slow. It can sometimes be boring to people that don't want to take that length of time to achieve something.
For example, I'm really bad at berry picking, so I cannot imagine having the focus for something like ballet. Like it's just not in me. I couldn't even do Lego blocks as a kid. So, what is it about this focus and time? Like, what does it give you then? What was it that attracted each of you to it?
Wow, that's a hard one.
And I don't need the 3-year-old memory, but like once you start to look back, and you're like, what was it that really brought me in? What was it that kind of sparked my love for this art form?
I think it's the lack of speech that enticed me the most. Because theater, music, I was around it a lot. But the storytelling without speaking, because I was rather introverted.
Yeah.
So, but I really enjoyed the freedom that dance can give you, like a physical freedom.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then that you didn't have to, follow through very poetic sonnets that Shakespeare wrote. So it was more about feeling the story and feeling the energy rather than trying to understand, so to speak.
So what was the ballet scene like in growing up in Tokyo as you started?
Oh, huge.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know why. Japanese and ballet are really well
Yeah.
matched. Pairing. And
I mean, there's so much performing arts over it.
Yeah.
So
absolutely. But there was some stigma against boys doing dance still
yeah.
back in the 80s, but it's completely different now.
Yeah, the 80s were a bit weird, right? Like I grew up in the 80s, and there's a lot of problematic stuff that could be left behind from that decade, to be honest. So that's changed.
Yes, it's changed now. There are lots of boys doing dance, and they actually celebrate it, really. Yeah.
All right, so for anyone else, that point where you're just, when you think about what really kind of grabbed you with it.
I find that with ballet, there's sort of this all-encompassing element where, you're trying to achieve certain goals with your whole body. But as well, you find this artistic layer where it feels kind of like your spirit or your soul is engaged in it too. So I felt very kind of taken over by the enormity of what that can be. So it's very almost addictive, like the feeling of trying to achieve certain goals and really dedicating your whole self to it. And that, I think, it just really drew me in.
Right. What about yourself?
I was a very dramatic child, and I think that part of the love for ballet for me was kind of getting to express that, in a contained space. My first ballet teacher was really big into pantomime and acting out those scenes through ballet, and I really loved that. I got into it, I think, a little too much. She was frequently like, you can calm down now.
You can dial it down. The button goes to 10, you're a 12 right now, so let's go to 8.
But I loved that, and then as I grew with it, obviously developed a little bit more technique, not just the pantomime. But I've always loved that. Like, there is a certain freedom to it, and I think I've always just felt like most myself, like my personality shining through when I do ballet. And I like other styles, but I think that's where I feel it the most.
Okay, Galien?
Yeah, I think I love that when you walk into the studio, it doesn't really matter what else is happening in my life. I go in that space and it's really just me and me.
Yeah.
And not, it's sort of every day you reflect. You say, who am I today? How do I feel today? What do I want to accomplish today? And it's just really this space where you can work on yourself and push yourself and celebrate these small achievements that are made along the way. And then, of course, falling in love with the theater so young, it was also an avenue to that, to be there in that space that I just love to be in. And yeah, it afforded me that pathway to the theater.
So what is having Kitty with you folks here now and what you're doing? What does this for the range, right? The kids who want to come in and just be active, have some concentration, get away from screen time, perhaps, like some of those things. That's there. But then there's also perhaps a road if you want to do more in life with dance. What does having this here now kind of give folks for the ability for folks who are studying dance, perhaps compared to prior years in Newfoundland and Labrador? Hannah, I'm just thinking, like, for you growing up, you to be where you are today, not everyone gets to do this kind of stuff.
That's
And in
absolutely
Newfoundland and
right.
Labrador, there can be a lack of certain resources at times.
For sure.
So can you compare contrast now for what is here compared to when you were coming up?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, when I was growing up, there wasn't an opportunity for a full-time job here as a ballet dancer. And there wasn't a post-secondary training option either. So I knew, in order to pursue my goals, I would have to move away from home. And so I kind of had my mind set on that. Throughout high school, I knew I was going to be going to Toronto, was where I ended up. Yeah. But I didn't think I would get to come home to work. I didn't think that I would get to live here in St. John's and pursue my career. I expected to have to live away from home in order to get a job as a dancer. And so then to actually have the opportunity then to have this company build up and have these full-time positions so that I can now have my career here where my family is and where my upbringing is. It has really meant a lot, and it's exciting that we're now creating these avenues for training and for post-secondary opportunities for dancers, so that younger dancers that are now coming up through don't have to battle with the fear of having to leave home at a young age in order to achieve these goals.
What do folks say to you growing up when you're like, no, I want to be a professional ballerina?
You'd always get the, oh, that's good for you. And of course, there were others that were fully supportive, but it was common for people to sort of think that was just sort of like a childish dream. And then there was others that would say, well, what's your backup plan? And I would always say, no, this is the plan.
I have a plan.
I don't have a backup plan. This is what I'm doing with my life. And, that full commitment, I think, is a big part of what got me to where I am today. So, yeah, I think that having an attitude shift in the community towards understanding that this is really a realistic career path if you commit to it, I think that's a great thing to work towards.
Delaney, what about you growing up when you were like, no, this is what I want to do? What was the range of responses in your world?
Mostly supportive. I think I had kind of a close circle that was, very invested in the arts, but I also got like what's your backup plan, or like, dancers get injured all the time and then your career's over. Like, are you gonna get something else, get a degree, because like it could just end like that. And I was like, that's true, but also a little harsh, I'm like 10. But yeah, fortunately I've had lots of people who've been very supportive and want to help me realize this dream. So that's nice.
So then, for making that jump from joining something, having thoughts, right, 7, 8, 9, 10, 14, to like, okay, I want to go the professional route. Talk to me about that. Like, how big of a decision is it? How hard is it? What are the risk factors around it?
That's a lot. But I don't know. I think I had a heck of a time getting a job, to be honest. I went to Hamburg Ballet School. I was top of class. But because I'm short, I could not get a job until the very last second.
So what does it mean to be top of class in Hamburg at that? Like, to achieve that, what level are we talking here?
Oh,
sounds pretty high to me, but I'm like a radio host in St. John's.
Yeah, like let's say you're probably, let's say NHL. The scouts are probably looking at you, kind of level. Yeah. So you're not ignored yet. To get a job in the dance company, you have to check many boxes, and skill and artistry is not just the only check boxes. Yeah. So physical appearance is definitely important because, especially male dancers, we have to partner female dancers. So that really made me think really hard. Like, is this really for me? But I just didn't give myself an option to say no to it. And fortunately, I was, really friendly to my dance teachers in Hamburg Ballet School. So they all vouched for me to the boss I had in Hamburg. So he created a spot for me then. And that kind of gave me a pathway to the professional career that I have now, even today. However, I don't know. I think because, the art of dance or ballet, so to speak, we all have to use our imagination and we have to really believe in the character we play. So I think we don't tend to doubt that we're going to make it.
Yeah.
Because we're so good at believing in what we're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Galien, what about you on that end, for you growing up and then and moving to the professional side of things?
I mean, for me, I moved away to the National Ballet School when I was 9 years old. So
Yeah, it's pretty young.
I was very young. I left home and I was in this environment where everybody there, that was the goal. We were all there to become professional. And so
Is that a lot of pressure? If it sounds like it's
yes,
really
it is. It is. I mean, they do what they can to still make things fun and have a childhood and all those things. But it's a very different environment to live in. But I think in terms, and that's not to say everybody made it. Like out of my class of 16, 4 of us ended up making it into the professional world. So even at that level of school, the odds are not high. But I think, yeah, it comes down often to just like determination and grit more than talent. Or, of course, you have to have all of the ingredients. But if you don't have that just sheer will to make it happen,
Yeah,
it's
a bit
very
of
hard to make
fire,
it happen.
too, yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, I think for me it was always serious. I don't remember a time really where it wasn't.
So how does where does fun come into with it being serious? Like can those things still exist together? Are they separate or does it depend on the day, year, performance or whatever else?
I think for me it's like, maybe I'm odd, but it's fun to take something so seriously. Like for me, that kind of work and focus is fun. I really love that kind of push and inner drive. That's fun to me. So maybe I'm odd that way. But
Serious things can be fun too. It's just not like frivolous fun. I mean, it's like it's very serious and the stakes are really high, but I also enjoy it and it's actually fun.
Yeah.
But then what do you do like when you're doing all that, like to take time away from it? How did you would you take time away?
Well, I mean, again, like at National, for example, there is no away because
Everything is there.
Everything is there. So
Everything.
There was days where like the only time I went outside was to walk from residence to the theater building for ballet class. So it's like a 2-minute walk, and then beyond that, you're in that world. And so in res, of course, we would laugh and be crazy and dress up, put music, and do whatever we could to sort of blow off steam or have our own fun, play games, play cards. I don't know the things kids do, but we found our way to let go. But it's a different experience for sure.
Yeah, no, of course.
Yeah.
Yukichi, you were going to say?
Yeah. Oh, what was I gonna say? I mean, I'm not sure what I was gonna say.
It's okay. We can keep pushing through.
Sorry.
No, it's in the running discussion. Oftentimes, like I'll feel like someone will move, and I'm like, "Oh, you're going to say something?" It's like, "Oh, it's gone." Then 5 minutes later, like, "Oh, it came back." And like, "Okay, great." Well, then talk to me a bit about the like, how do you go from like it's like Tokyo over to Germany, you folks meet, and then Calgary, and here. What was the discussion for both of you to come to St. John's and to think, you know what, this is like we think there's something here for us, and we want to be involved with Kittywake and dance in St. John's, Newfoundland and Labrador?
I was just curious. I've heard of this place, this magical island, the far east of Canada. And I'm from the magical island far east of Asia. So I kind of saw a connection there, but really just artistic curiosity is what brought me here.
Yeah.
Like such a strong, long-lasting company that, must have gone through so many challenges, yet it exists. That must mean there has to be a community, a very strong community that supports it. And if there is a need for this art form, I am all for investing in it, because at the end of the day, both Galien and I, we're here for the art form itself of dance. So it really doesn't matter where we are. If we can use our skill set to invest and make it grow, then we're here. Yeah.
Galien, what about yourself?
Yeah, I think Yukichi spoke very well about it. But it was. We've taken a lot of adventures with ballet. Moving forward has been part of our life from very young. I started my first move for ballet when I was 9, moving from Edmonton to Toronto, and then from Toronto to Germany, in Hamburg to Calgary. Now it's just another adventure, another leg on that journey with ballet, and seeing how we can contribute and what we can give to the community here.
So what are you finding out about the local culture now that you're in? Like, so there's the local dance culture, the local, like, big, larger culture. Like, how is it for you folks fitting in here, talking to the dance community and learning a bit about the Newfoundland and Labrador culture side of things?
I'm still getting to know everyone here.
Yeah.
I've met theater people.
Because you've been here, what, a year? A little,
Yeah.
a year.
Just 1 year.
Okay.
Lots of musicians here, which I really admire. Like at the Pedestrian Mall show, we're actually featuring Andrew Staniland's newest composition that just came out. I think Laws of Nature. One of his newest song is we're dancing to it. So, and what I've noticed is, people are really proud of the Newfoundland and Labrador culture and the history of it, which, that's what I love about it too, that it's the youngest province yet oldest.
Yeah, there's a bunch of different histories, yeah.
Right. So I'm really intrigued by how I can use that history and turn it into dance pieces. Like the newest piece we just made in June, it was inspired, the scenery of downtown St. John's at night, very moist and foggy and misty, and pavements were, scraped off. I'm not sure why we do that here. Those little scrapes it's like rolled up ice cream, but it's with pavement. Yeah, but then
Oh, you mean the scratch? Like, what, are you talking like the scratch and patch?
Yes. I've never seen that.
Yeah, it's its own season here.
So that kind of inspired me many, many different scenes, and it connected to my background from Japan, and the piece just came to me. So like living here already inspired me so much, and I'm researching more about the Atlantic Charter and how it ties to the Second World War, and and the knitting culture here that's inspiring me as well. So there's no end to it, and I'm really curious how people are gonna receive it here.
Have you been into the Crow's Nest yet?
I don't think so.
No? Okay, if you're looking at war stuff, Second World War, you should stop into the Crow's Nest next to the War Memorial. I can tell you about it after the show, but you're going to really like it. It's pretty neat.
Oh, I've seen the door. Yeah.
You should go up. I'll let you know how to do that. We're touching on dance and ballet, and like I love that description, like from the scratch match to St. John's at night, talk about knitting culture, Atlantic Charter, all of this. So, which brings me to one of the things I was curious about from all of you for the show today. It's like the role of ballet and dance today and what it gives. Like what for if someone knows very little about it, and they may, they'll see Swan Lake or they'll see like the Nutcracker or something. So they've got that. But what is it that you feel is the role today for what it can express and its connections to community and art?
I think that dance has such an ability to connect to different people in different ways, right? When we do a story ballet, there's this sort of beauty and joy and perhaps almost like a nostalgic childhood feeling that can be given to adults. And there also a lot of connection for kids. But then we can also create these beautiful works that are more kind of contemporary ballet, and they have sort of an intellectual element that can spark thought and deeper meaning for different viewers. So I think there's kind of a lot of different ways that people can connect to dance and to ballet, and they can find their own avenue into enjoying and kind of participating with it through a lot of different ways.
Delaney, what about yourself?
Yeah, I think dance can be incredibly unifying. Sometimes, dance can sort of remind us what it is to be human and to connect through motion and movement, where you don't have to say something, but there's a general understanding of what we're trying to convey, of what it's about, where everyone, from different backgrounds, different places in their life, can come and enjoy it as an observer, as an active participant, or just, get involved and move through it. Yeah.
Does ballet ever get a bad rap? Like, what is it? Because no matter what we talk about, like whether I could do a show on baseball, I could do a show on barbecue, or to keep the alliteration going, I could do a show of ballet, and each one you can have a conversation of like, the misconceptions or whatever else. What is the, like for ballet these days, what is it that you sometimes have to push back against for thoughts?
Yes. I think the latest one is that the origin being European, the Eurocentric nature of ballet, and how history of colonizing other countries.
So it could be talked about as colonial, like as colonialism, and this dance can fall under that because of Europe and how it's worked over in North America for what's gone on with settlers and everything else. Okay.
Right. Though, like, I find it almost more unifying than alienating, so to speak. Like, sure, in terms of, political standpoint, it might have been problematic, maybe. But in terms of ballet, I'm so glad that there is, Spanish flair to it sometimes. So when ballet was taken to Russia, it kind of exploded with mixing with the Russian folk dance and how the physicality changed it all. And once the Japanese learned what a ballet is, we mixed it with no theater and kabuki a little bit.
Yeah.
Like how adaptable ballet is and how it just learns from culture and enriches. So I try to take it as a positive, and within, I think, the ballet industry, none of it was seen as invasive or malicious, so to speak. It's just like, let's be in the room and learn from each other. If anything, we grow empathy through it more than anything.
Yeah, more, and to carry with what you're saying there, more can be brought in, more listening can be done. And also, I think if you do, there are times with art, with anything, I mean, you can have there could be, like, for example, in music, there could be a problematic song, but you don't just get rid of the form of music, but it perhaps that gets put on the shelf forever as things change and evolve. And then from what you're saying, like with ballet, more inputs, more evolution. And like for what you're saying now about community, it's like, we're taking it in and then we're taking that and making art from it. I find that fascinating. Right? Anyone else on that?
Like in Hamburg Ballet, we had, 17 different nationalities in the company.
Yeah.
And, news of 9/11, we would talk to our, colleague from U.S. and really understand the political temperament there. When there was a shooting in Russia, we'd talk to a Russian dancer. It's like we really learned from each other, respected each other. We became empathetic. Like, the world unites through art form always. And, of course, we make mistakes along the way. But, to kind of not give us the chance to redefine and reach, how do you say it? Redemption, like chance to redemption.
No, of course,
is kind of it's disappointing. So we try to hear everything and do our best to see what we can do for the future.
You're listening to The Signal. I'm Adam Walsh. Today on the show, we're talking about Kittiwake Dance Theatre. We're talking about dance, ballet, the role of ballet in the world today, the future of dance in and around St. John's. If you've got thoughts for the show, you can text us 709-327-8206 or email us thesignal@cbc.ca. So whether that's thoughts on this discussion, thoughts around dance and ballet being relevant today, or perhaps you were in ballet or your kids are in now. If there's something you want us to let us know. And like I said, the text line is open, 709-327-8206. I think we've got that. Do you want to play, Kira, play that one, Winnie, if you pulled it. So this is nice. What is this?
This is Piglet waking up in a garden of flowers and about to meet Winnie the Pooh and start an adventure off to find the North Pole.
I can feel that. Yeah. And I can picture it.
Yeah.
And why are we talking about it?
Well, we are going to be presenting a new piece with Kittiwake Dance Theatre on October 4th at the Arts and Culture Centre of Winnie the Pooh and the North Pole Expedition.
Well, that sounds rather neat.
Yes.
What goes into the thought and selection process around these things, and how, like, where does it come from? Are you like, both of you just sitting down one day and like Yukichi is just like, hey, Winnie the Pooh, let's go with this? Like, how does that happen?
Well, this actually, Galien and I co-created this back in Calgary for our dance school. I think the news came that Winnie the Pooh was going to become public domain.
That's always good news, right?
Yes.
The more that becomes public domain, the better it is for if you want to use some well-known things in new ways.
Mm-hmm. Right. And really,
So instead of going Winnie the Pooh and zombies, you went Winnie the Pooh and ballet.
yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, so we thought Winnie the Pooh is perfect for little kids, and we always think about how we can, entice young minds to be, enticed by theaters and dance. So we thought this is a perfect topic to tackle and make a ballet out of it. But instead of making it just music and dance, we put in narrations that tells the story, that reads the novel. So the voices are coming, and the stories are told while the dancers are dancing.
Yeah.
Yeah, just to kind of making it a little more accessible for young minds, young YouTube shorts, quick minds, yeah.
So there's all of that. What else, Galien, for you? What was it about Winnie the Pooh and this story? And fine, it becomes available, right? What spoke to you about it?
Again, I think because when we first created it, we were working with our school. And so we're always looking for things that are family friendly, that are going to inspire not just your older students, but the young ones as well. Things that are familiar and about friendship. And Winnie the Pooh is just so lovely about different personalities and how we can accept each other, support each other, have fun together, and all be who we are. We just had really nice messaging that we thought was positive.
So what was the response like in Calgary when you did it?
It went over very well.
Yeah.
Parents were very happy. Yeah,
It's very short too.
It's
Like
only
we
1
kept
hour.
it for under hour, so that you don't have to sit and start getting the
How long is, sorry for this question, how long is it like for regular ballet? Like it's...
that depends. The longest one we were in was Matthew's Passion in Hamburg, which was 4 hours.
4 hours?
Yes, with only one intermission.
One intermission?
Yes.
What physically is that like?
I mean, I can't speak to the audience perspective. I
for
would find it challenging, but for the
dancers,
I would say it's meditative, because you're not dancing the whole time.
Yeah.
Often you're just being on the stage. So you come on and you don't leave until intermission. We all leave, we all come back on, and we're on for the next 2 hours of the show. So you get very comfortable on stage. You get very comfortable in the environment, and meditative, I would say.
Oh yes, there were lots of tears on stage, and we didn't know why.
No, people would cry, they would giggle, they would sleep. I don't know, all the things. But that was the longest one we ever did.
4 hours.
Yes.
But like Swan Lake, it's like 3 hours.
With two intermissions.
Yeah. Right. Nutcracker too, it's like 2.5, I think.
Yeah, so I've actually sat for the Nutcracker for ballet. I can't remember how long it was. I sat down in Seoul and watched it when I was living there. Very enjoyable, but I remember enjoying it and thinking like, this is really neat. What about for both of you? How the longest you've done, and what's that like?
I think the longest that I've done would be Nutcracker thus far in my career. I mean, Nutcracker is such a joy for me. I look forward to it every year, and every time I hear the music, it gives me that warm feeling. So I'm always excited for that part of the season to come along, and it brings back a lot of childhood joy, but then also a lot of fulfillment within my career. I've gotten to do a lot of different roles over the years, growing up dancing as a community dancer in the cast and now as a professional. So that has been a really wonderful experience, kind of getting to see that show from a lot of different perspectives.
And Delaney, what about you?
I've really only been involved in like my ballet school shows, which we kept pretty short for younger kids. So it was really just different excerpts. So I'm actually really excited to start to get to do some more full-length, continuous works. Like that's really exciting for me starting this chapter.
So, Galien, what's the advice for someone coming in, starting this chapter?
Please.
What do you say to someone if because you know they're going to be doing it?
Yeah.
Like, so what should they take into account?
Take care of your body. Like recovery is really important. And the sooner you start, the better.
Yeah.
But I think just try to be in the moment. Yeah, be present. And it's over so quickly. Yeah, before you know it, it's done. And just,
What are for the body side of it, because injury and body maintenance, it seems like it's pretty, it takes a lot to do this physically. So tell me about that. Like, how do you upkeep your body as a ballerina, in ballet? Like, how do you, and then to navigate through injuries and recovery and stuff, and then also thinking about as you start to age and the fact that, I woke up the other day and my shoulder was hurting for no reason other than I just slept the wrong way. But that's what happens at 45.
I think the benefit of ballet is that the training is really structured really, really well.
Yeah.
So I think if you are facing your training every day, like we start really slow, really, just bending knees, little squats, little feet movement, and then we work ourselves to bigger jumps in like a 2-hour class. So I think that alone is preventing us from getting so many injuries.
Right.
Because lots of other dance genres, it just goes right in, or the dancers warm up on their own, and then it gets, you go straight into rehearsal. I think that's one definitely unique benefit of ballet for sure. So like facing your training properly and honestly every single day prevents a lot of agony, I would say.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what are the big injuries, though?
Lots of ankle sprains.
Yeah.
That's pretty common. Or tendonitis, when you're working in point shoes, Achilles tendonitis is very common. Ankle sprains, I think for the gents, like shoulder injuries from lifting or back injuries. I've seen kneecaps on the wrong side of the leg before.
Hip
Hips,
problems.
that's the one for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how do you work through that?
It takes a lot of physiotherapy appointments and self-care. I have kind of, a set of exercises that I have to do in order to try to maintain. And, you grow a thick skin, you put up with a lot of strain on your body. So then you get to know yourself really well, and you learn what works for you and how to take care of yourself. It kind of becomes a bit of a learning process, sort of the specific way to care for these things.
Delaney, wait, how old are you again?
19.
Oh, so you're not even getting injured anytime soon. You're fine.
Fingers crossed. Yeah.
But what do you do? So is it something you think about, though, of just the wear and tear on the body? Because, we're not talking about growing up, dancing, getting in something as a kid, with the fun side and just the physical side. We're talking now on the professional side. It's your job. It's your thinking about it. It's the daily thing that you're doing.
Yeah, absolutely. I think kind of keeping up with a proper, a personal regime, like stretching, cooling down at home as well, not just in the studio. But yeah, I think it's always on my mind. But I try and remind myself, proper training and proper technique hopefully mitigates a lot of that, right? Which is when I'm always being told, use your lats, longer neck. It's like, it feels like every day I'm like, yeah, I get it. But then I do it. I'm like, wait, I can move my neck now. So I think it's just creating kind of your own personal, what makes you feel good consistently throughout the week. And then, taking some time for yourself on the weekends, I think, to kind of not have a leg in the air.
Yes. Kira, we have one more little piece, right? Let's play it. Which piece is it? What is this? What are we listening
This
to?
one is for the artistic festival on Pedestrian Mall. Yeah, actually, I heard this played by one of our friend here, a string quartet, and I really loved the song, so I just decided to choreograph to it.
So what did you choreograph? Like what were, like, I know we talked about it a little bit, but what was your, when you first heard it, you're like, oh, I can choreograph this. What did you start thinking about?
This one was purely physical
Yeah.
inspiration, really. I heard the music, I couldn't stop dancing, so I just made a trio, nice real quick trio that's energetic and entertaining to see.
Yeah. All right. And we can, yeah, it's got I like the vibe of this, and so I'm really curious to see it on Water Street on the pedestrian mall, August 11th at 2:30 in the afternoon, right?
Yes.
All right. So that's the one look ahead. What else? We've got 4 minutes left to the show here. So talk to me about the future. Talk to me about the future.
Future.
Where's the glass ball?
No, we're going to create lots more ballets and dances. I'm hoping to fill this province with dance just as much as, my goal is to grow this dance sector as big as the music sector here, if not more, and do something together. My ultimate goal would be theater, music, opera, and dance all under one roof. A huge art hub.
That'd be
so to
cool.
speak. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So that's your goal. All right. That's I love that goal. Hannah Drover, what about you? What's your, tell me about your future. Look 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 years down the road if you want, or however long you want. It doesn't matter. It could be a week, but a little bit further.
Well, I mean, I'm going to continue to work as a dancer with Kittywake, and I'm excited that we have kind of this trajectory of growth and this, this drive forward now with the company. It feels like it's on a pathway towards growing, more dancers, more performances. So I'm really looking forward to some of the shows that are lined up to come in the future. Yeah. And really, in the long term, my intention is just to continue to participate in every way that I can with Kittywake, and then past the point of retiring from dancing, I would like to remain working with Kittywake in some way. So artistic contribution towards growing, the vision of Kittywake that Yukichi is talking about. I feel that it can have this really big impact on our community. So I'm interested in just contributing to that in every way I can.
Yeah. Do you think like the little young you growing up, how neat would you find it to go back and be like, hey, by the way, you're going to grow up, you're going to work professionally in St. John's, you're going to be part of this growing company, all the dreams you're thinking of doing, you're going to get them.
I mean, it's obviously a dream come true. It's also kind of, I wasn't sure it would ever really happen the way I wanted it to. And so I think that the younger version of myself would just be overjoyed that this is all kind of coming to fruition, and that the vision for the future is so big and hopeful. So I'm grateful, and I think that the younger version of me is very happy, and the current version of me is very happy too, actually.
Yeah, that's very important.
Yeah.
Galien, yourself? I mean, I know Yukichi kind of paved the way and talked about some big ambitions and stuff, but fill us in on your side of it, your thoughts around it.
Yeah, I think I would like to help support Kittywake be put on the map more on a national level, not just provincial, really make it one of the respected dance institutions in Canada. But then more locally, I've been very lucky this past year to do a lot of workshops through Kittiwake Dance Theatre with the young dancers in St. John's. And there's a lot of talent here, really wonderful talent coming up. And I just want to be able to help share my knowledge, share my abilities with the next generation too, whether that's through community cast work or workshops and all of that, and just continue to build the dance sector here, continue to build the platform for young dancers to take off into their professional career here.
Delaney, I know we talked about you just arrived 2 weeks ago, so where do you want to kind of move towards?
Yeah, so starting as a trainee with the company, I'd love to work my way up, and continue to build my artistic and professional development. Hopefully, as the company grows, I'd love it if we could do Swan Lake with 60 dancers one day. That would be the ultimate trajectory for me.
Excellent, folks. Thanks for this. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, everyone, we're out of time for today. Thanks for listening. If you got questions or thoughts for us, The Signal at cbc.ca. Call the Signal line and leave a message, 709-576-5260. Tomorrow, look, Tuesday in the summer, that means it is a gardening day. Pretty dry in some parts of the province. So my question to you, how are some of these drought conditions impacting your gardening, your gardens, or if you've just got general thoughts on that, plus regular tips and questions all tomorrow on The Signal. Don't miss it. Cheers.